If you're a makeup wearer and you decide to go gray, it's definitely going to cross your mind if you need to change your usual routine. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Alex and I have prematurely gray hair. One area in particular that people struggle with is eyebrows. I mean, your hair's a new color and you're just thinking like, what color should my eyebrows be? I'm going to explore that topic today and show you how I like to do my brows and the reasoning behind my techniques. So just keep watching. My general advice is to go thicker and darker with your eyebrows. I've always heard that kind of having thicker, more unruly brows makes you look younger, but there's actually some science behind it. I'm going to read you a little bit about some research I found, so bear with me. I'll leave the link to the study below. So, in a study conducted by Frontiers, a group of people were shown over 800 photos of women aged 20 to 80. The research showed that younger women tended to have more contrast in their facial features, particularly their lips and their eyebrows. The study then created two sets of photos for people to examine. The first included women with high contrast faces, and the second included women with low contrast faces. Over 80% of the time, participants said that the high contrast face looked younger than the low contrast face. Although I believe that accepting aging is a good thing, I think that we can all be honest that we'd like to kind of stay looking youthful and vibrant as long as we can. So with this in mind, let's discuss color. If your hair is cool tone, this is super easy. Go for a gray product. Surprisingly, gray, from what I've read, is a universal shade for a lot of different colors and a lot of different people. In an article I saw published on Birdie by Amanda Montel, grandma brows were explored. They spoke with a benefit makeup artist named Jared Bailey, and Bailey suggested that cool gray is a one shade fits all powerhouse. So it's amazing for platinum hair, it's good for pastel, black hair, gray hair, or even you can kind of like mix it in with a different color to just add more texture to your eyebrows. So I want to show you the products that I've been using that have been working for me. Speaking of benefit, I really enjoy the Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade gray. I like that they make a shade gray. It's a very cool toned. It doesn't really pull super gray when you see it on. It kind of looks more. It does run like a little bit brownish, but I think it just, as they were saying, blends in well. It's definitely a universal shade, and you can get it on Sephora in this size, which is a little bit smaller, to save some money, just to try it out and see if you like the color of it. And I also use the, oh my gosh, I've used it so much that there's nothing left on it. I don't know what this product is called. It's from Benefit. It's their eyebrow gel. They also have a shade in gray. It's really good if you already have brow hair to kind of just quickly put some in there. It matches the other brow pencil, and it doesn't give you a lot of hold, but it will fill in some of those bald spots that you may have in your eyebrows. And another product that I really like, I mentioned it in my fall makeup trends video when I was talking about eyebrows. You can watch up here. It's the Urban Decay Brow Blade. So this one is in Cool Cookie. It's also comes off like pretty brown, but it is definitely a cool tone shade. You get one side that is a little brush where you can kind of flick in some brow strokes, and then the other side is a standard pencil, which I really enjoy. It's good for the shape of brow that I like to go for these days. I definitely like to do a more natural, unruly type of brow, and I think it goes to my favor because I am not a perfectionist when it comes to my eyebrows. Like, I just don't care enough to make them try to look perfectly even on both sides. Even when it was a trend to do that very bold kind of blocky brow with like the faded part up front, I just didn't do it because it's just not my style to have that much of a symmetrical, perfected brow. And I think if you can kind of go for a messier look, if you have it in you, I think it definitely helps your face look more youthful. I know I talked about cool tone hair, and if your hair is gray, it will be cool toned at some point, but I mean, for me, I do have more of a cool tone brown base, so it might be hard for me to relate to some people that are starting out with really warm hair. So imagine you have a medium brown hair, but pulls quite warm, like red highlights in the sun, like it pulls warm. What do you do then? That's a good question, one that I obviously don't have experience with myself, but I think that I'd say just experiment with it. Obviously, I'm not a makeup artist. Do I think it might be strange to use gray in that kind of hair? Perhaps. It is kind of a universal shade, so it might work for you, it might not. But that's where I say experiment. Buy a cheaper brow pencil for sure, or buy the mini size of the Benefit Precisely My Brow, just to experiment with it. My recommendation would be, whatever you're doing now, if you're kind of trying to match your brows, just go a little bit darker. I'd say experiment with 1 to 2 shades darker, because from that study, I mean, it is kind of saying that having a deeper eyebrow is going to make you look more youthful. So, because you want more contrast on the face. Just experiment with it, see what happens. You could go with gray, trying gray, it might work out. Not 100% sure, but the key is to make more contrast. The second part of the equation is to make your brows thicker, and I know this is a difficult topic for some people who definitely overplucked back in the day and they just can't grow that much brow hair. I would recommend that you do try some kind of growth serum if you're really struggling with that. But I've also seen eyebrow pencil work wonders for this kind of thing. You can definitely get away with drawing your eyebrows a little bit thicker. Oh, sorry, I just saw something on the floor and I was like, what is that? Anyway, you can definitely get away with drawing your eyebrows a little bit thicker and it's still looking real. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube about making your eyebrows thicker. My favorite method right now is, like I was saying, I like to leave my eyebrows pretty messy. I don't overpluck them too much or make them look like super structured. I have experimented with the kind of like fox eye where I took off a lot of my eyebrow, which is why I have a bit of a shorter brow right now. But I will be growing it back out because I do think that is the most youthful look, is to just have kind of a more of a messy brow that's not as structured. So I think my best method for this is I like to just go in and draw a little bit of eyebrow on the top of my arch because I think that really helps create the shape. I don't go underneath too much because I find that it'll end up like making it look a little bit blocky. So I don't do that, but I'll brush my eyebrows down, fill in my line where I want it to go, brush it out a little bit, and then push my brow hairs back up. So that gives some dimension behind it and helps fill it in. I'll go through any sparse areas and I'll take my brow blade, the ink side pen of it, and then I'll just flick through the bottom. You can kind of add individual little hair strokes to places in the bottom where your eyebrows might be a little bit sparse. If you get really good at it, you can also add some more to the front, which I try to do to make my eyebrows look a little bit more symmetrical, but it's hard to do. They're just not that symmetrical. And I think one of the best products you can get right now is a very strong hold eyebrow gel. I've been liking the Anastasia Brow Freeze. It's not for everybody. It definitely is like a little bit of a tacky hair gel consistency. So if you don't want to kind of like touch your eyebrows and feel that they're slightly wet or sticky, then you're not going to like it. But it has such an incredible hold that if you don't have a lot of eyebrow hair and you're able to kind of like push some of it up, it's going to make your eyebrows look a little bit thicker. And then you can just go in and fill in the sparse areas. So I've been really loving that, enjoying that lately. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please let us know in the comments below any tips or tricks you have. I mean, share it around with all of us. We're all going through this experience. So if you know any good products that are great, particularly for gray hair, please let us know. Again, thanks so much for watching, and as always, don't just make up your face, make up your mind too, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.